So how many people here have already gotten their copy of Last Year Was Complicated? How many people here had the original Nick Jonas solo album, Nick Jonas? Yes.
Thank you.
Now, we did get a lot of phone calls, Nick, from especially young ladies that said that they have been in love with you since they were like 8, 9, 10, 12.
Yeah.
Anybody out here, one of those people that called us up? Don't be shy now. Don't be shy now.
Look,
yeah,
bam.
so they were
Nice.
certainly super excited and hands down one of the most highly anticipated concerts of the summer season here in South Florida. You, your girl Demi Lovato, coming to the BB&T Center this coming Friday. But obviously, you know, you've done so much in your career. I didn't realize you started off in this business when you were like 7, right?
Yeah, 7 doing Broadway shows in New York.
Unbelievable. Miss Bryan, huge Broadway fan, by the way. I'm a huge Broadway fan. Anybody else here enjoy a little Broadway music? You've watched Glee a little bit in your life? That's right. We all know a Broadway tune or two, right? Even if we don't sing them all the time. Although I heard you sing yours in the shower.
I do. I sing all of Les Mis when I get in the shower, do the whole show.
You know
It
what's,
works.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
I used to sing Gavroche's part all the time. All the time. I did, when I was little, I did. You know what? I'm not going to sing for all of you right now because I don't
You
want...
might as well.
No.
Why not?
I don't want you to feel intimidated,
Put
Nick.
you on the spot.
I don't want you to feel intimidated. I do a mean Gavroche, but I'm not going to do it now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you played pretty much every major child role on Broadway. You really did.
Almost.
Were there any
I
that
missed,
you wished?
Yeah, there was a few shows I missed. I missed like Mary Poppins. I
Okay.
was a bit late for that. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was another one I didn't get to do. But I did most of the young boy roles. And Oliver, I almost did Oliver with Joe actually when we were young, off Broadway. But I didn't end up doing that. I did Beauty and the Beast instead.
Instead, I did Beauty and the Beast instead. I mean, hey.
Did you ever not do a role that you wanted to do?
Well, yeah, I mean, what was funny is that Joe didn't want to do musical theater at all, and then he was seeing how much fun I was having. Again, we were like, I was 7, he was 10. He saw how much fun I was having, and he decided he wanted to do it. So he copied me, basically. And he started doing shows, and he got Oliver, and we were going to do it together, but it didn't work out. But it's fine. We did some other things together for about 8 years.
Yeah, some other things.
I think it turned out pretty well.
Which actually brings me to that. Obviously, fast forward a little bit, we go from Broadway, all of a sudden it's Disney, the Jonas Brothers. You did that, you know, what, like you said, 5, 8 years, something like that. You were heavy touring together for 5. Took a little time off.
1 and 8 years, somewhere in there. 8 years.
So you have to tell me how hard though, because we're not going to dwell on that because obviously that's, you know, some years in the past. But how hard was it to make that decision to cut ties and to separate? I mean, that's family. That's got to be a tough one.
Yeah, it was tough just because, you know, we had our whole world kind of wrapped around that, and it was such a big part of our lives for so long. But it was clearly the right thing once it was done. To wherever, you know, my oldest brother Kevin's got a baby, another one on the way, so he's building a family, and he started a company that's doing really well. And Joe's obviously now killing it with his band DNC. And,
Yeah, he was here last week.
Yeah, look at that. And it's been good for everybody. I'm thrilled, but it was tough for sure. It wasn't easy for about 2 or 3 months to kind of re-find our rhythm as a family first.
Wow. How long did that decision fester in your guys' head that we got to do this? This is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I kind of initiated the conversation, just saying that, you know, I feel like it's time for us to close this chapter, be a family first, prioritize that, and, you know, go and do some different things creatively and whatever else. And it was shocking at first to them, I think, and then they came around. But you know, it really was the right thing.
Something tells me you kind of always knew. Did you always know, like, as you were making music together, that you were going to have to branch out and kind of do your own thing in order to be fulfilled?
To a certain degree. I mean, I was originally signed as a solo artist, as an 11-year-old kid. So I was first a solo artist, then in a group, and then back as a solo artist. So it kind of came full circle in a way. And the same guy that signed me at 11 would end up being the head of my label now, years later, 10 years later. So it's a very small world. Things, you know, work out in a crazy way.
Swap microphones with you for a second.
Okay.
This one we're going to sell on eBay.
Got it.
Go ahead. It's his saliva's right on there. I saw it come off. We can get a lot of money for that. Appreciate it. Thanks, DNA.
No problem.
Let's go.
Now, I got to ask you, is there anything, though, that you do miss about being in a group, that group camaraderie?
Yeah, I mean, obviously traveling with your brothers and your best friends is a great thing. Now, though, you know, Demi is my touring partner for the summer, and that helps a little bit kind of break the ice and being on my own so much. Uh-oh.
I'm not going there yet. Relax, okay? See, they all know me.
It'll be about 7 more minutes.
They all
and
know
then
me.
it'll...
No. When you toured with your brothers or whatever, I mean, tell me some brother fights that you got, some family stuff, stuff that nobody would know.
We never got physical with each other because we had one time where, you know, we all kind of grew up to the point where we realized we could actually hurt each other. And we just said, all right, no more fighting. But we said some pretty terrible things to each other before, I'm sure. You know,
we just want to know you're normal like the rest of us, because,
yeah,
buddy, I have said some things to my siblings. Good Lord.
Yeah. It's hard to come back from. But I feel like guys are really easy, like, you know, a bunch of brothers, because you forget so quick.
You say something. What are you saying there, Nick?
Oh,
Jonas?
Go ahead.
I'm saying that if I had sisters, I'd be in trouble.
That was a good cover up there. That was good.
Well, no, my
you
mom
didn't really say too much, and there's quite a few ladies out here in the audience.
I know that I have a very strong mother, and if I ever said anything that was, you know, not in line with her, it was bad. So I can't imagine having sisters.
Miss Bryant, I know you're out there in the audience, and I know you got some questions. So what do we have? Oh.
Check. All right, I will just talk.
There you go. Just project.
Madison, right? Madison? Hello, check. All right, Madison, you have a question. You're in Miramar. What is your question?
Do you speak any other languages?
I've been wanting to learn how to speak Spanish,
Really?
but it's...
Oye, eso se arregla fácil. Aquí no hay problema. Para que lo sepa. No problem. I ain't t-shirt.
You're not going to teach him the Hialeah song, Laz?
Girl, this is hits live, not hits all week.
I have another one too.
Yeah, what's that?
Could you please just like sing a little part of Introducing Me from Camp Rock?
Right now?
Yes.
I cannot. I'm sorry, I've retired that song. I had to. It was just time. You hit 23, and Introducing Me becomes a little harder to sing, and it's a...
But you know what? That brings me, obviously, to where we're at now. You're coming off of Nick Jonas, which was a huge success, and definitely a side to you that I don't think anybody had ever seen, but boy, were we glad we got to see it. Jealous, songs like Chains, and it really just changed your whole image. But this song, I mean, this album, Last Year Was Complicated, I was just listening to downstairs in our morning show office, and wow. Just wow.
Wow, in a good way, I hope?
Well, yeah, I want to know, where does all this soulful sexiness come from at 23?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Lies.
No, I mean, I lived life and I wrote about it, which was the best thing for me. And then I collaborated with some great people, you know, both on the music itself. So I worked with Nolan Ambrosia, who did Jealous on the last record, and Jason Evigan, who did Chains. He did a few on the new record. And then a bunch of really talented Swedish producers from Max Martin's camp. And then, you know, people like Tovlo as well, who really brought just a whole other element to the table, which I guess now I just saw that Close has become the most viewed video on my Vivo page.
Yes, it has.
So it passed Jealous, which makes me feel a little uncomfortable because it's like Jealous has a special spot for me, but it's nice to see that.
Well, it means that they're not only just riding with you, but you're gaining new fans.
It's growing, yeah. It's a good thing.
But I also saw that you worked with Rico Love.
Yes.
Now, did you work with Rico here in Miami?
We worked in LA. We're trying to make this session happen here because I love Miami.
Say that again, a little louder.
I love Miami. I really do.
Wait, do you see? Wait a minute. I want you guys to see the look on this face while he's saying how much he loves Miami.
Now you know I want to learn how to speak Spanish.
There's some stories behind that I love Miami right there.
Is there? I don't know about these stories. I know nothing about these stories.
As your legal counsel, I suggest you don't say anything else.
Got it.
But,
so we worked in LA, and he's great. The song turned out great. It's one of my favorite songs on the record, and it's tough though. I'm putting the set list together right now for the tour, and there's so many songs from the new album I want to play, but I have to mix in, you know, some of the stuff that's older, and you know, it's that classic battle of wanting to give everyone what they want to hear, but also kind of what you want to play and what means something to you. So we'll see.
The crazy part is being in the business. As long as you have no choice but to evolve, because if you don't, then you just stay in that same spot, and then everything goes away.
Yeah.
But you were able to do it in a very successful manner What do you think changed in your life?
I think that having perspective and being grateful is key. I love what I do and realize that a lot of people at my age are trying to figure out what they're doing with their lives. And for me, I've been doing it now for a long time and still getting to do it after kind of the career that I already had was really a blessing in a big way. So that, and then also just enjoying the ride, having fun.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's funny because you have a lot of credits to your name: singer, songwriter, producer, actor.
Yeah.
You seem very hands-on with, not just your music, but every part of. I mean, in fact, you went to your Instagram and you asked your fans, I think, to be Nick Jonas ambassadors, correct?
Yeah.
Like to really help you so that you would always have, a true finger on the pulse of what your audience wants.
Yeah.
What is your process?
I do like to kind of be heavily involved and especially with this album that I just put out. I really took ownership of it because it is so personal and the songs mean so much to me. And it's almost to a fault at times. I try my best not to be controlling and let my vision be it because I really trust the people I work with and what they think. And so you have to just be conscious of both. Care about your work and what you're doing, but also realize that the people around you are there for a reason to help guide it as well. So it's just about keeping an open mind and again enjoying the process.
Ryan, question. Oh.
All right, Natalia from Miami. One very, very important question. You can ask Nick Jonas, right?
Hello, Natalia.
Hi, how are you? Oh, wow, hi. Hello. So my question is, well, hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. If you were a coffee flavor, what would you be and why?
Oh.
Yeah.
Breakfast blend. I don't know why, I just felt right. Right?
What a question.
That is a great question, though. I'm thinking
Cuban,
Solid.
just so you know.
I'm thinking what innuendo is behind that.
I don't know.
Breakfast.
I was actually
blend.
trying to think of one myself, but I couldn't, so I
I'm
abandoned ship.
picturing a man's shirt.
Yeah, like breakfast in bed.
Yeah, that was what I was picturing.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
The fantasy is coming to life here.
I want to go back to the album, though, because like I said, I was listening downstairs. A lot of love, a lot of sex, a lot of drama, some regrets.
Yeah.
And then that brought me to a question that somebody asked on our Twitter. One of our listeners wanted to know, why was last year so complicated for you?
Last year was a great year, too. I think I got to make sure I say that up front. A lot of amazing things happened. But also I had a breakup last summer that kind of dictated what a lot of the record was about. Whether I knew it or not, I approached every songwriting session wanting to talk about it in some way or just work through some of my own stuff. And but then, also, as we talked about before, transitioning from being in a group to being solo and that whole new world. And then just, newfound success was a challenge in some ways as well, getting used to that. So that was that part of it. But, I'd say this year's been pretty amazing so far. So it's good. Everything's good.
Okay, so last year was complicated. This year is amazing.
This year's not so complicated. No.
That's good. That's good.
Pretty simple, yeah.
What's her name?
What was my ex's
just
name?
Answer the question. Just what's her name?
Her name was Olivia. We were together for a couple of years, but it's all good. She's a good person. And
she avoided.
Gave you a lot of
talking.
good records.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, that's true.
Almost, it's very Taylor Swift-esque, actually, if you kind of got to channel that inner energy. But they actually they put a little bit of pressure on her during the Met Gala because she was commentating on how everyone was dressed, and you looked fabulous.
Thank you.
In your own design. I know you were working with some menswear, but literally the camera panned to her immediately after you walked up the stairs.
People are brutal.
And she was just like,
Yep. Well, good for her.
he looks great. No. She gave, but it was just, it was one of those things.
That's
so
very sweet.
You're not the only one, and unfortunately, as an actress, and as it's a little more difficult to purge yourself. You really do have the perfect outlet for that.
I do. I'm
good?
very thankful for it. Yeah, it feels good. I mean, it's also, you got to be careful with it too, because I do think that there's a fine line. For every artist, you can go one of two ways. You can choose to just write what you want and not care about what the person's going to think when they hear it, or you can try to be sensitive about it and be a good person within it. So I do my best to write what I need to write, to work through different things, and to say what I want to say, and to not filter myself as an artist, but also be aware that we're all human and we feel something when someone says something about us on any format. So I think in the whole body of work, it's actually all very positive.
Yeah, Don't Make Me Choose.
Yeah.
That was a song that stuck out to me. And I think maybe because as a person in this business, and a lot of times, and how many people here have their eye on the prize, are very driven, know what they want to do in life, and are focused, and know it's going to take a lot to get there, right? Okay, well, go listen to that song. Don't Make Me Choose kind of talks about, at least to me, that difficulty between love and your career, no matter what that career is, and how difficult it can be to balance the two.
Yeah.
Balance.
I feel very inspired right now by that. That was good. It's that, but it's also, I think in that song in particular, the thing that was great to explore and kind of talk about is this idea that both really can coexist, and I don't think people can see that and see the vision when it's happening, because you kind of get wrapped up in one or the other. But there is, I think, the reality that it can both exist. So that's what the song's about, as well as following your dreams, doing what you want to do, and having love on some level.
Life is short, without a doubt. Brian, do we have any more questions from?
We'll do one more from Ilani.
Hey.
Hello.
Beautiful name.
You're from Miami. What question do you have for Nick?
Okay, first, hi.
Hi.
Oh, you want me to hold it? You want to hold it? Okay.
She done took the microphone
Yes, she
from
did.
him and everything.
She's coming to
She's
get
like,
your
here, you
job.
hold this. Don't you worry about nothing.
All right, what was your favorite thing about becoming a solo artist?
Favorite thing about becoming a solo artist was probably the ability to just go on whatever creative journey I wanted to go on, and tap into the soul and kind of R&B side of my music, which I love. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, just having fun with it. I mean, I miss spending time with my brothers in the way that we used to, but I'm proud of them and their ventures, and obviously Joe's killing it and everyone's doing well, so it's all good.
That kind of brings us to where you're at now, which is obviously this tour with Demi Lovato, the Future Now tour. I mean, you guys just seem to be having so much fun on Twitter, on Instagram.
Too much fun.
You guys are posting your polls. I want to ask you, do you miss sharing the pressure of filling, a venue with at least two other people?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to pass some of it off to other people. But also, you got to get to a point too where you just love what you do, and it doesn't matter. You go show up at the venue and you just get up on stage and play. I'm kind of at that point. For me, it's about just actually being able to get up there and do it, which is the first. Is basically, to me, it's the Sunday, and then anybody being there is the icing on the cake or whatever. Mm-hmm. That was a terrible analogy, but you know what I'm saying. It's a cake and ice cream. Apparently, I'm hungry.
You're just like at a bakery right now.
I'm somewhere. It's a good fantasy that I'm having in my head.
Now, what is one thing you have to do before you go on stage? Are you like a superstitious
I've been getting into
person?
meditating, which I never used to do, but I take about 11 minutes approximately, and I'll just sit in silence in the dark and meditate.
Can you really clear your mind though?
I really can. Like
That's
to the point where I
impressive.
almost feel transcendent afterwards.
Really? No, because I always get to the point like, don't think about anything, don't think, and then I'm like, damn it, I'm thinking about not thinking about anything.
Yeah, you just gotta let it
And
go.
that's a problem.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, third eye. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, the one right here.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm with
have
it. I
that
love it.
too.
I love it all.
It's horrible. Now, Laz and I fight about this all the time.
We do.
You're on tour again with Demi Lovato, who both of you have said you're like besties, you're BFFs. You're in business together. You do a
Yep.
lot of things together. Laz does not believe that men and women can just
be friends.
be friends.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, but I totally understand that. But I think that there are exceptions. I think that when you meet someone when you're 13 and you really do grow up together, that's kind of a real friendship that is born, and it's hard to see it any other way. Demi's the best, one of my closest friends, and it really is not that. And both of us actually even we laugh about it because it's such a foreign concept to us. But I do know what you're saying, so I understand the balance.
You're a better man than me, I'll tell you that.
Wait a minute. I'm not sure if he just agreed or disagreed.
It was very
he circumvented
diplomatic.
the question.
He
Yeah.
Nick Jonas you, is what he
He's
did.
now done that twice.
Okay?
Have you noticed that he's done that twice?
That's the
now?
Jedi mind trick. He said, no, but I know.
The third eye right there. Now, Laz, you're a huge Demi Lovato fan.
Very much so.
Who isn't?
No, right?
Yeah.
But her personality, like I said, she hung out with the DJ Laz Morning Show right around this time last year. And her personality is just infectious, and she's so real.
She doesn't give a
No F's given over here. And she said that, actually.
She did.
on the air?
I had to, yeah.
You
But
don't seem surprised.
Not at all. Not at
no,
all.
she's definitely the girl who speaks her mind.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to be censored. If she's uncomfortable in a situation, she'll let you know.
Yes.
She is definitely a free spirit when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And she's had her struggles. You know, she
sure.
came real clean with us on the air, and she was super proud of you know, she takes it day by day.
Yeah.
And I love that about her.
I'm proud of her too for that. I mean, she had a pretty crazy ride and has come out on top and is a better singer every single time that I hear her open her mouth to sing. It's just unbelievable that she gets better and better. But also as a person, you know, she's overcome a lot, and I'm just really proud of her for that.
Now, do you guys talk to each other about social media? Because both of you have kind of, you know, voiced your opinions on the opinions of others that are constantly voiced on that, you know, forum. What do you guys have to say? I mean, do you ever have to like talk her off the ledge, or does she ever have to talk you off the ledge in the sense of, you know, stop looking at that stuff, you can't take it that personally?
We get defensive for each other, I think, more than anything. So we'll like threaten to tweet on their behalf, you know, and defend them on some level. But usually, you know, with her, she kind of says whatever she wants. So there's nothing that I can say that would convince her, or nothing that I'd want to say. She should do her thing.
Have you ever been able to talk her off the ledge? Was she going to do something so on social media you're like, no?
I don't think I could have any say in what she does on social media. That's totally her game, and she does it well. And actually, I mean, she leaves Twitter for like a day, and the whole world freaks out.
Well, actually,
It's
speaking of Twitter, I would like to play a game. Can you guys play a game with me? We're Demi Lovato fans in here, right? Yeah? And of course, we're obviously Nick Jonas fans. So we're going to play a game. We're going to play Who Tweeted It, right?
Okay.
And these are between Nick and Demi. I'm going to read the tweet. You guys are going to yell it out, and then Nick is going to confirm. Hopefully, you know your own tweets.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Or you could
So-
just dance around it like you did before.
Or yeah, you
there we
can do
go.
that too. You're awfully good at that.
Very good at them.
All right, so my first tweet is, I've been very open about the fact that I'm not in a relationship with anyone right now. I'm pretty sure I'm the most reliable source. Is that Nick or Demi, you guys? That was Nick, okay. Now I have dream collaborations. Kelly Clarkson, Eminem, Ed Sheeran, Mark Anthony, Christina Aguilera, Macklemore, Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and Drake, exclamation point. Nick or Demi? Nick or Demi?
Demi.
That was,
The Kelly Clarkson gave it away pretty quick.
is that what that was?
That's her favorite.
All right. Now somebody else said, these people are very good at cropping people out of pictures that make their story less interesting. Nick or Demi?
Wrong. It's me.
That was Nick.
Oh!
I like it. Oh, I'm excited, but they're pretty good there.
Yo, they were pretty convincing. I'm like, yeah?
And then that was a pretty good one though.
Yeah.
And then somebody else said, how many of you would choose reading a book over Twitter? Nick or Demi?
I hate books. I don't think I'd like that.
That was definitely Demi right there. Does your relationship with Demi Lovato intimidate other girls that you are potentially dealing with or talking to?
Maybe.
Women.
If it has, they haven't said anything. Which would be an awkward conversation to have, I'm sure.
Hey, what's up?
Considering you're on tour with her.
But yeah, none of those relationships lasted, so I guess it does.
Oh, well.
Hey, what are you doing? Just hanging out in Demi's room, getting ready. All right, real quick, Lulu and Lala. No, come, grab the microphone right there.
We have to go do a show real quick, but I wanted to know if you've gotten any more NARBs in random places.
You know, there was a potential NARB situation recently, and I avoided it fully. I'm beginning to conquer my mind here.
And you also probably left the lollipops alone too.
I did. Those
There
were
you
at
go.
home. Yeah.
And then just one more question. Given the fact that you went through a breakup last year and all that, how do you feel about posting relationships on social media? Is that a thing you're not going to do anymore?
That's a good point. It becomes very difficult afterwards, to figure out what to keep up and what to take down. But I don't know. It's up to, it depends on the situation. I'm sure right now I'd be like, no. And then, if some days I'm with somebody again, I'm very happy, then I might be like, oh, I want to post something.
Are you a bragger? Like, are you I'm proud this is my girl kind of guy and I want to show the world?
That's tough too. I think that it's about the other person. You have to kind of gauge off them. 'Cause there have been times that if it could feel like it was you were trying to use the situation, which I don't ever want that to be the case. So yeah, it just depends. But I am the kind of guy that is proud to have someone amazing on my arm.
Gotcha.
But it's not the case right now.
Are you? Well, I mean, Camilla, no, Fifth Harmony.
No.
People were running with that one for a minute.
She's like the homie. She's the best.
The homie.
You have way too many female homies, my friend.
Homies, my homie.
You are hiding something, Nick Jonas. No problem. By the way, I want you to know that Lulu Lala thing, that was pure therapy for both of them. Just so you know, pure therapy.
Now, we have a few more minutes with you. Yeah. Do we have a question?
We have time for one more question from the audience.
Yes, last question, then we'll wrap up. It's from Abby in Sunrise.
Abby!
Sunrise.
Are you and DNC ever gonna have a song together? Are you gonna feature with them, or are they gonna ever feature with you?
Very good question. Maybe. I'd be open to it. I mean, Joe and I are roommates. We live together in LA, so we have the music room in our house. We're always coming in with ideas and writing, and if the right thing came up, I mean, then I'd be all for it. Have you seen them live yet? It's a pretty exciting thing to watch.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing. We just have very different performance styles.
He ran at the BB&T Center. Your brother jumped off the stage, right? Ran up the entire section. I don't know if his security even knew he was going to do it. He came flying by us. I was trying to Snapchat it. It was totally ineffective. And then he sang the whole last song standing on a railing, the crazy guy.
It's great.
It was so intense.
I get nervous every time I see him play about that moment because he does it at every show and it's frightening.
Don't trip, don't fall, and I don't know what else. Yeah, right?
Don't bust your... real quick, we definitely got to give a big shout out to Lexus of North Miami and Lexus of Pembroke Pines.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
For having us here and for you guys coming and doing what you do. Thank you very much.
Laz, I do want to ask one last question, though, because the rumors have been circulating. You really said that this could be your last album. Is that true?
Answer the phone. I hear it. Answer the phone. Let's put him on. Let's see who it is.
Perfectly timed phone call. No, I'm kidding. No, that was taken out of context. So what I was saying was that I think the album model is done. With streaming and lots of new ways to hear music. I think that the album as a traditional buy a CD and do that whole thing is done, in my opinion. So I want to be progressive with it and do something different. So it's probably my last album, but not. I mean, I'm already working on new music, so it's
because I thought that the acting bug. I mean, I know you've been bit in it, or it bit you a long time ago, clearly, because you started acting first. But directing and all of those things are some of your passions. So I didn't know if that was where you were.
No, I want to do both music and acting and keep busy in both, and definitely, just last sort of traditional approach. You got to find a new way to do things because the people that do are the most successful. I mean, Chance the Rapper is a prime example, and Kanye with his release of things making a real impact and kind of killing it, on a whole new level. So hopefully I can be moving towards that.
Well, naked people in the video, you gotta love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together and give it up for Nick Jonas.
Thank you.